Okay, first of all, can you see on the window there it says wash me? It's a fun little detail. So this sill looks to be in good condition. As you can tell by this technique, it would be Ian approved. So again, no respect for show business. Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Here he comes.
That's a horrible sound.
Oh my God.
I think I just pulled everything.
Pulled everything.
I ruptured my quad, I can feel it. Chris here with the Calgary Home Inspector Corp. We are back with Ecoline windows and doors for yet another installation review. This time we're in the southeast of McKenzie Lake. So we're looking at, 25, 30-year-old windows potentially here. You can see there's a lot of dirt on the windows and the screens, frames. So these are getting old and time for a replacement. So we'll go have a look at the condition of them now. This is the first window we walk up to. You can see dirty all the way around the entire frame. It looks like that seal on the inside of the pane there is worn in. All the caulking around the base here is cracked, so that hasn't been maintained at all. It looks like over a number of years. A lot of staining around the window. Definitely overdue here. So we're here on the west facing side of the building. This is very important to Ian because this is where the storms come in and where you're getting rain coming down. So he makes sure to mention that. And what we have on the basement is we have one window with a drip cap and another one up here without. So it's just interesting, two side-by-side windows. You got a different install. The sealant here is starting to wear. You can see some gaps between the foundation and the sealant. So those are all areas that we could have potential moisture intrusion. So yeah, it's just interesting to see two windows side by side on the same house that have a different install. Look who's got a knife today. Got some growth happening inside the window frame here behind this screen. So we're just gonna open this up, get you to pop in here, have a look. I don't know if there's anything that says you need to replace your windows more than what's happening right here. Jump in there and have a look. So yeah, one of the problems here is just lack of maintenance, right? Stuff's getting into the screen, it's not being cleaned out. What's happened over time due to lack of maintenance is the weep drains at the top of the frame here that are the inlet for water to come out through the weep hole at the bottom are being grown over. So this window can't effectively drain any water and your screen is penetrable. So every time it rains, there's water getting in here. It's just sitting in there. It's gonna be feeding that growth. And that's why we're seeing this build up to quite an extreme here. Just again. The crew today. Okay, first of all, can you see on the window there it says wash me? It's a fun little detail. Right now, these guys are just carefully removing the window casings. We're preparing the window frames to be removed. It is very meticulous and careful. No one's in here with a sledgehammer, bashing windows out HGTV style. We're cutting around all the casings, making sure that the paint separates from the trim. This goes for all the materials. Like these things have been adhered together for years. Oftentimes they're getting more and more brittle over the years as they wear down. So we just want to make sure that to the best of our ability that they're taking care of all the rest of the home and not just isolating the windows. So we're seeing that every time they do this demolition, essentially. So here we can just have vinyl siding coming into the side of the window frame. And you can see as I like flex this vinyl, there's no sealant anywhere down this entire window frame. You see some companies that when they go to pop the window into place, they'll do their sealant on the back of the flange here. I don't even see that in this case. So it'll be very interesting when this window comes out to see if there is any sealant across the top. Right now, there's nothing on the sides. And you know, we can also see there's no drip cap flashing or anything. And these windows at the back of the home look to be newer than the ones at the front of the home. So this was a post-construction installation where, yeah, you're missing a seal on this entire thing. If you look at, you know, a good hardy board install, you'll see caulking down the entire seam of every one of those hardy planks. So we'll see what comes out of this. This is my pointer knife now. So you can see on the envelope wrap here, this black building paper, the extent of the spray foam. So we can see the curvature, like you know, at this specific location, we're getting, you know, 2.5 inches of depth there. So we're not getting that full front to back coverage with this spray foam. You can see what's happening underneath here. So this sill looks to be in good condition. As you can tell by this technique, it would be Ian approved. So this is actually another common installation practice. See this even on new construction, where we have spray foam and bats mixed in. Typically I actually see this the other direction. Looks like they have bats towards the exterior and then the spray foam insulation in behind. Typically see is them get the low expansion spray foam in deep, penetrate all the way towards the outside of the frame, and then pack in bats behind it. So just another installation example, a little bit of variance. I'm sure if we looked at the original windows on the front of the house that we'd see some differences there as well. Again, we have shrapnel flying around, but this time for a different reason. These window frames, we've seen them do a lot of demo and removal. These ones in particular are just coming apart. They're very brittle. You can tell the age of them. They're just crumbling the second he applies any pressure to this frame. So yeah, a little bit of a different style up here on these more triangular windows. We have the J trim around the windows. So that's that extra piece of siding that caps the vinyl. We don't see that on these lower windows. You just have a flange that laps over the vinyl. And then you can see up here, all the little weep holes look to be pretty clogged and filled out there.
Do you see something?
It's a dead spider right here.
We have to bury him, man.
I'm not touching that.
You know what? Jan buried the bug last time. He buried the bug. We found the dead bug. So we have to show some respect to the spider and bury the spider.
That is all you. Not touching that guy. So first thing is, when did you take ownership of the house?
Oh, we've been here 13, 14 years.
13, 14 years?
Yep.
Okay. And is this your first time replacing windows?
Yes, we had they were the builder grade previously, so we want to do it for years, but this is the first time we've ever seen our house open to the world.
And just as what made you decide to change your windows in the first place?
The seals were broken, so the winter's been getting really, really cold, kind of getting the ice on the insides for the past, specifically the 5 ones and the 3 facing up top. So last winter was a little bit on the chilly side for us and figured it was time.
Okay, absolutely, yeah. And these are some big windows, so that'll make a big difference.
Hoping so. We want a warm winter this year.
And then what made you decide to go with Ecoline? Did you shop around at all? Or?
We did. We shopped around a couple quotes. You know, you guys came in, and I think the big differentiator with you guys was Vlad, the supervisor, kind of had the understanding. He went through a lot of the specifics, everything from the trim, the plan, to what we're gonna do with the walls upstairs. He had other suggestions of places that he took the time to explain things. So the confidence was there, the insight was there, and felt like it was a comfortable fit.
Perfect. And did you apply for any grants or anything as part of the replacement?
They did mention, not that I know of. I know there's the Costco discount as far as what that goes, but nothing else there.
Okay.
So,
oh, that's good. Appreciate it.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
So yeah, this is a bit of an older practice that we see with the bad insulation and the spray foam. I still see it a little bit on new construction, but I was saying usually it's actually flipped the other way. So they put the spray foam insulation more towards the exterior face, create a nice air seal around these windows, and then kind of pack the back in with insulation. And that makes sure that, you know, that front plane that's preventing water intrusion is nicely sealed, where when it's reversed like this, there's a susceptibility for your bad insulation to get wet. And as soon as that gets wet, it loses its thermal value and it's not really doing anything for you anymore. So it'll be nice once they get this frame completely cleaned up, get this stuff out of here, and new window and the full spray foam insulation all the way around, seal front and back.
By the way, having you guys in, like, we were worried. I mean, coming into this home, we've been happy, but they took a lot of shortcuts. We've come across a lot of things they kind of did and patched, and there was issues with everything from the furnace room to there was a door pipe that wasn't done incorrectly. So kind of getting the windows, we were kind of bracing for, well, you know, what bad news are we going to find? No, this looks super clean right here.
Yeah, that's great. That's what we want to see, is a frame that's in really good condition, you know, forms a good base for the new windows to go in. Yeah, with that being an add-on, good thing the frame's intact, but yeah, having a professional window install will definitely punch that up a level.
We're bracing. We'll see what happens.
So we did just talk with the homeowner, and they confirmed that the back area is actually an extension of the home that was added years back before they purchased it. So that's where we're seeing some different installation conditions here. This wall is the original end line of the house, and then that back bump out is the new addition. One thing here is that there's no paper, there's no flashing tape or any membrane applied to this sill. This spray foam is directly on the wood. So again, any water that would have or could have gotten into this area posed a potential threat to damaging the actual frame structure. I love that carry technique. So again, no respect for show business. We got our 3M flashing membrane tape going on here. That's gonna take care of treating the sill and the jamb extensions, where, like we saw on that window at the main house at the back there, where spray foam was just applied directly to the sill. There was nothing protecting that actual piece of framing in there, should any water or damage occur over the years. Unlikely to happen with the new Ecoline windows though. This is the window that came out. As you can see, this is dual pane. We have a piece of glazing on either side here, seal in between, filled with gas. Now, the distinction between dual and triple doesn't really sound like you're doubling up, but that is what you're doing. You're bringing another window in and you're going from this to this. Now, you won't have two pieces of glass together in the middle, you'll have one, but it just shows the difference, the thickness, the added thermal value that comes with the upgrade from dual to triple pane. It's not a slight jump. You are, in fact, doubling up. That's a horrible sound. With the new Ecoline windows, you won't hear anything at all.
Can you imagine opening this window like in the middle of the night? Horror movies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, might be good for burglars. Like, you'd be dead asleep, up, you're awake. You know someone's coming in this window. So now we can see the finished pre-window install frame. This was a mess before. Bad insulation, spray foam insulation, everything was adhered everywhere. You can see they scraped this all down, cleaned it up. These are important details to ask when you're shopping around for a window replacement company. These guys respect the job, they stop for nothing. So these are important details to ask when you're shopping around for a window company. Understand what they're going to do with the frame, how they're gonna treat that, what details are they looking at replacing? Are they gonna take it all the way to the frame, get rid of old insulation material, or are they just trying to pop something on and use what's there? It's very important, and it'll make all the difference in the life of that window going forward. So we're just looking at all the old pieces of window that got pulled out essentially. And as we talked about before, it'd be interesting to see what they did for sealant and caulking around the windows. There's nothing. So all along the backside of this flange here, there's no evidence there was any caulking, any sealant, there's no cap flashing. So really these are large unsealed windows that were on the back of this home. So these are the upper, again, unsealed windows, and we can see all the growth that is on the perimeter of these. We're cautious with the mold word, that's bad, but this growth is pretty suggestive of mold that's inside the window there.
Unlocked.
Unlocked. Huh. So we're on the upper floor now, you can see some roofs down below us, and we're seeing that same moss and organic growth happening in the frame here. It's all the way across the base. As we unlock and open this, you can see it's all in this side as well. So that's not just contained to the lower level, that is on the upper level. We want these frames to come out completely. We don't want to just be replacing the panels of glass. Oh my God, I think I just pulled everything.
Pulled everything.
I ruptured my quad, I can feel it. Okay, I am an independent home inspector, so pick up on other details, not just windows. This roof gutter has a leak right here. You can see this pool on the shingles all around here. So just another area of the home that we can be looking at. This is where, if below this roof eave you don't have sealed windows, this water has potential to stem from a roof leak, run down, get in behind the window, and start to deteriorate and rot out your frame. So it's not just windows. Take a holistic approach and look at the things that can affect your windows as well. So you can see up at the window head frame here that there is a gap. We don't have a flush head plate. So this creates a problem when we come and want to spray foam this and fill this back in. And it's not just at the underside here, but it's the top here. Like, I'm poking that down. I stick my hand right through there. So we'll see what they're gonna do and how they're gonna seal this off and make sure that they have a base that they can actually apply the spray foam against. Because right now there's nothing, and you don't want to just be packing this whole thing with spray foam. So on this back window here, I don't know if you can see past me, there's still the paper there with the spray foam on top of it. So that's how they resolved this at the time. They lapped their paper over top. That gave them something to spray foam against, but really not friendly to the next person who comes in to do a window replacement, because you're leaving them nothing to work with. Water in there. So again, that's that roof leak. It's coming down, getting in behind the gutter, which is what you don't want. So if that gets in behind the wall, that's why you have a drip cap flashing, so that that water has a way to kick back out over top of the window. So this is the new frame member that's gonna go in at the header here. He's already silicone the frame, and then we're gonna screw that up So it's important to understand that, you know, we have to take up some of the space around the window. So the windows that are being installed might not be the exact same size as the ones that were originally there. But even with this frame piece installed, we're still gonna have a solid like 1/2 inch of insulation front to back at the head of the new window. First install of the day is a big one. Again, right now, they're just shimming up the window, making sure it's level, making sure that the frame and any mullions are properly supported. So we can see them getting that in, just getting the frame in place here, and yeah, making sure that we're gonna have a nice level, flush, plumb window going in. They just popped off this cap here, which belongs in this spot. They're gonna pop some screws in there and then put this back on. That's gonna make sure that you never see any of the screw or workmanship that went into this, even though it's there. And Ian, if you're watching, this might not be from Germany, but this is a real man's level. We have this gentleman on the outside applying caulking all around the frame. That's gonna seal it from the exterior elements. And then on the inside, we have the low expansion spray foam going in all around the frame perimeter, and that's gonna be what seals it from the inside. So that's sealed from the outside, sealed from the inside, a complete seal through the building envelope here. This is what we wanna see in a proper window installation. That's how a sliding window should sound. There you go, nice and smooth. And then, so last time Ian and I were talking about, you know, our personal preferences of casement versus slider. I said, you know, I like the slider, but I don't want on a big window to have a large window that I have to slide across either. So this is a good example of just the customizability that Ecoline has, where if you're not a fan of casements, you can still opt for a slider. You might not get the same airflow and opening area that you would with a casement, but if it's important to you to keep this style of operation, then that remains an option with Ecoline. We just popped back out front here. As you can see, there's a bunch of the interior casing that Ecoline's gonna install around the window, but what jumped out at me is that they actually have the J-trim here for the siding as well to go around the windows. And from what I can see, they look like they did a pretty good color match on this. So just another thing that Ecoline is going to take care of. We're just wrapping up the window installation at the back there. We saw a bunch of windows come out and the first one go back in. And in this case, we got to see a few different styles of existing window installation. That back area was an addition that occurred after the original construction. So we got to look at the differences in how those windows were installed. But now with Ecoline coming in here, we know all of those windows are going to be installed in the exact same way. Everything's going to be treated appropriately. We're going to remove old insulation materials. We are going to put flashing membrane tape down on all the sills. We even added new framing members where it was needed to complete the surface around the window. So this is another fantastic installation by Ecoline Windows and Doors, approved by Chris, your Calgary Home Inspector.